He's been good to me. Now maybe he hasn't done anything for you, but he's been good to me. Maybe he hasn't opened any doors for you, but he's been good to me. Maybe he has not made ways out of no ways for you, but he's been good to me.
Hallelujah.
Let's go back to Jonah. Let's go back to Jonah. Jonah chapter 3. Let's go, let's drop down to the 6th verse. For the word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, and he laid his robe from him, and covered him with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock, taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth, and cry mightily unto God. Yea, let them turn every one from his evil way, and from the violence that is in their hands. Who can tell if God will turn and repent, and turn away from his fierce anger, that we perish not? And God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way, and God repented of the evil that he said that he would do unto them, and he did not. God, we thank you for this time. God, let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. And the people of God said, amen. Amen. Thank you, ushers. Thank you. You may be seated. We started talking last week, or continuing the theme of there is still time. And last week we tagged it, we are in this together. So I wanted to go back to that same theme and that same tagline. Look at somebody and tell them we're in this together. That was the wrong person. Tell the other person. Tell them we're in this together. Now last week we started conversing about how Jonah finally reaches the place where God told him to go. After running and after causing an unnecessary storm, allowing people that had nothing to do with his stuff. We talked about that. We talked about how Jonah was running from God. And when we think about our lives, how many of us are running from God even today? How many of us are consistently running from God? He's saying, come here, and we'll say, no, I'm not trying to go there with you yet, God. There are some things I still want to do. There are some things I still want to see. There are some things I still want to say, God, I'm not coming where you are just yet. Give me time. Can I press upon you that God has given you time? How much more time do you need to make up your mind? I'll let that simmer. How much more time do you need to give him a yes? How much more time do you need to make a mess of your life? How tossing and turning at night, trying to make sense in your mind what God is saying. If you just give me a yes, it'll all fall in place. Well, I'll leave you alone for a moment. But Jonah went to experience some deep, dark moments in the belly of the big fish. Yeah. Which we will not be in the belly of a fish, but sometimes in life we're in some dark places. We're in some dark places in our mind. We're in some dark places in our relationships. We're sometimes in dark places even in our church. We're in some dark places that sometimes don't always make sense. So Jonah is in this pit, and he's praying, God, I'm sorry. And can I urbanize it? He said, God, I'm sorry for being ignorant. God, I'm sorry for being disobedient. God, I'm sorry for turning my ear away from your mouth. Because you do know God speaks to us, don't you?
Yes, he does.
And it's really not through the these and the thous and the thuses. Sometimes it's simple, through the wind. Sometimes it's simply through a song or through something we're looking at on TV or even a conversation. Somebody will say something and then your aha moment hits. Okay, God, that's what you wanted me to see. So Jonah, even in this fish, he decides, you know what, God, if you give me another chance, I'll do what you told me to do. And many of us have decreed and declared, God, if you give me one more chance, I'll do what you told me to do. I'll go where you told me to go. And yet and still, we still not going. Yet and still, we still waiting. God, I need another chance. I ain't ready just yet. It's almost like we're double dutching, like we're waiting for the rope to hit at the right time. And yet and still, the longer we take to get in, the longer it takes for God to give us what he wants to give us. Jonah, coming out of the belly of the fish, the fish throws him up. And now he has a sense of urgency to do what God has instructed him to do. How many of you this morning got urgency in you to do what God has told you to do? The urgency, the urgency, the urgency. How many of you have the urgency to move in the way God has instructed you to move in life? Chapter 3, that's where we started. It said, and Jonah jumped up, he arose, he got up, he said, let me go down and do what God has called me to do. Then he gets down there, Jonah being a prophet, he teaches us that no matter what you are doing for God, there will come a time when we gotta be in a hurry. Some of us, the reason we want to experience what God wants us to experience is because we're too lazy and we're too slow. I just felt the cold wind again. Some of us are too slow to respond to what God is saying. But let your car break down. Let your body break down. You're hurry to pray. But let everything go good. We have to be in a place where Jonah said, God, thank you for saving me. Now I'm going to have urgency to do what it is you called me to do. In order for us as a ministry and in order for us individually to experience what God wants us to experience, we all got to have urgency. Tell somebody, hurry up and get there. Y'all ain't talking. Tell somebody, hurry up and get there. God wants us there. There is a place where God can make sure that what we want and what we need, he gives it to us. Some of us, we want God to do all the work. God, save my marriage. God, save my children. God, save my life. God, give me a job. God, give me a money. God, give me a boo. God, give me another boo. God, make sure my car keep running. God, make sure my grade's good. God is saying, what are you going to do? If I give it to you too early, you're going to throw it away anyhow. you have not yet learned how to be disciplined. If I give you $1 million, you going to throw it away? If I give you 2,000, you going to throw it away? If I give you 200, you going to throw it away because you have not even reverenced the 50. And we wonder why we struggle. We struggle because we take advantage of what he gives us. If you are faithful over a few things, I'll make you ruler of many. And we're struggling because we're not faithful of the few. Sometimes God has to remind me, be faithful of the few. If you're faithful of the few, I can trust you with more. I'll keep going. Sooner or later, we have to be in the place where God instructs us. That's where Jonah was. Jonah got to that place where God was instructing him. And the text tells us when the king got this message that the city would be overthrown and smashed in 40 days. Because when Jonah came preaching a revival. He didn't come preaching a revival, everybody gonna get a car, everybody gonna get a house. His revival was, in 40 days, y'all gonna die. He didn't come in 40 days, we all gonna get a mule and 40 acres. He didn't say in 40 days, we gonna get everything. He said, no, in 40 days, God is gonna kill Nineveh. God is gonna smash this city. It will be no more city after 40 days. That's what Jonah preached. You let a preacher preach that now, they won't be invited back no more. You let me come up here one Sunday morning and say, y'all, tomorrow around this time, we all gonna be dead. Presiding Elder McGill, don't send that joker back here. Bishop, don't send him back. He crazy. I knew he was crazy, but now I know he's certified in crazy. He's a card-carrying member of crazy. But Jonah was that type of prophet. He told him right here, he said in 40 days. What if you had 40 days? What if we had 40 days, y'all? What if we had 40 days to get it right with God? What if we had 40 days? Rush, if you had 40 days, what song would you sing? You got 40 days to do it. What would you do? Andre, if you had 40 days, what would you do? Mike Jr., if you had 40 days, what would you do? Wilson, if you had 40 days, what would you do? Michaela, Mackenzie, if you had 40 days, what will you do? Green, Gresham, if you had 40, what would you do? Wallace, if you had 40, David, if you had 40, what will you do with it? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Lamont, if you had 40 days, what will you do? God said 40 days, I'm taking everybody out. Daniel, Caleb, Elise, 40 days. Melvin, 40 days. I'm going to give you 40 days to get it right. 40 days to repent. 40 days, Solomon, to get your mess together. 40 days. You got 40 days to get it right. 40 days to turn your life around. 40 days to let the evil out your hand. God knew the people had evil thoughts, evil ways. 40 days, brother, to get it right. That's our problem. We think we got a whole bunch of time. Sometimes I think I got a whole bunch of time to be majoring in minor foolishness. Sometimes we think we got all the time in the world. Well, I ain't gonna do it. I'll do it another day. But you only got 40 left. Yes. That's what the text And even the king realized, if I got 40 days, I'm taking off this robe. I'm coming off this seat. I'm sitting down. The text tells us that the king took off his robes. He said, these clothes don't matter to me right now, because I realize in 40 days, it won't be another king. I won't be here. But I'll take off my robes. I'll take off my garment. And I was sitting in the Message Bible. It said burlap or sackcloth. Burlap, sackcloth, the same thing. When God's words comes, everyone should take note of it. Our text tells us when the king got the message, once again, that in 40 days the city would be destroyed, he knew that it was time to be seeking God's face for his grace and divine favor. The text tells us the king calls for a citywide fast. He didn't call for a revival. He didn't call for fruits of the Spirit. I'm saying it because we got it today. He didn't call for a fruit of the Spirit. He didn't call for a 12-tribe rally. He didn't call for a rainbow tea. He didn't call for a porta-pin sale. He said, hey, I need a fast in the city. That's where so many of us miss it. It's not in the programming. It's in the prayer.
No.
It's not in the programming. It's in the prayer that God moves.
Yes.
It's not in our failure. It's in our faith that God moves. The king said, hey, I'm declaring a city-wide fast. Then the king said, don't you eat? Don't your children eat? Don't your animals eat? And nobody don't drink no water for 40 days. While we're fasting, if 40 days is all we have, we're going to take advantage of it. Your livestock don't eat, no drink. Your herds don't eat, don't drink. I won't eat as the king. I won't drink as the king. And you don't eat and drink. A city-wide fast. I've been here 2 years now. I still can't get everybody to come to Bible study. But we want to be blessed. But there is a sacrifice when you want to be blessed. He said, everyone. They didn't just fast. They put on burr cloth. They put on burr cloth, sackcloth, and burlap. And have y'all ever had the sack race in school? Y'all ever had the sack race? The little brown bags. I mean, I know, y'all sitting here in Concord. I don't know. I mean, y'all know what they little brown bags? Broadway, when we had field day, we called it field day, we had sack races. So the burlap was like that material. But back then they used goat hair. Can you imagine goat hair being on you, covering your face? That's what the burlap was. It's uncomfortable. When I got in those sacks, I just felt dirty when I got out. You just itch like something is still on you. And they were sitting. They was covering themselves in this goat hair, in this burlap. They was uncomfortable, all of them. Even the animals. The king said the animals, they're not exempt. They're not exempt. And the fact that no one is exempt from this fasting and this prayer should let us know from this text that we're all in this together. It does no good for the left side of the church to pray and the right side is fighting. It does no good for the left side to be fasting and the right side ain't doing nothing. Well, y'all going to fast on our behalf. We going to the buffet. It does no good for the right side to fast and pray and the left side to, hey, we're going to cookout. No. We all in this together, young and old, crippled and crazy. We all are in this together. Because if God is going to move in this house in particular, we got to do whatever we're doing for God. We got to do it together. Yes. I can't speak for another house, but for this house. If one going to pray, we all going to pray. If one going to fast, we all got to fast. If one going to come repent, we all got to repent. Why? Because we're in this together. I'm sure the folk in Nineveh didn't have the same sin, but they all had some sin. I'm sure we don't have the same sin, but I'm almost guaranteed we got some sin. Well, I got some sin. Maybe y'all got it right, but we're in this together. And that sackcloth, that the burlap was so uncomfortable. Have y'all ever been uncomfortable in your life? Ever been uncomfortable and things just don't seem to be going right, and you're aggravated, you're agitated, you got anxiety, you can't sleep at night because you're uncomfortable. The more you try to get comfortable in the bed, something else happens, and you're just turning and you're tossing. It's 1 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, then 7 o'clock, and you still haven't closed your eyes because you're uncomfortable. Yes. God will sometimes put us in uncomfortable situations to give us a comfortable result. All right. You got to be uncomfortable to get this one. You got to go through some stuff in your body to understand this one, Melvin. You got to go through some stuff in your mind to get this one, Lamont. You got to go through some things to understand that we're in this together and nobody is exempt, but everybody has to be on the same page. Amen. And once again, this demonstration was through the whole city of Nineveh. And this should encourage all of us today that whatever we're going to do for God, in order for all of us to get the same results or see the results, we got to be willing to do it together. Even America as we know it should be sitting somewhere in burlap. Our politicians should be sitting in burlap. Our preachers should be sitting in burlap. Our laity should be sitting in burlap. Why? Because we all need to repent. That's right. Amen. And that's what it was. They put that garment on because that made them know, that made them understand that I'm going to be uncomfortable enough to repent to God. I'm going to be uncomfortable enough to whatever it is I need from God, I'm going to get it in an uncomfortable situation. And we simply got to ask God for forgiveness for our disobedient ways. Ask Him for forgiveness for our hatred. Ask Him for forgiveness for our lack of commitment. Some of us, we're not committed to nothing. We're committed to going to work. We're committed to going home. We're committed to dirtying up dishes, but we're not committed to nothing else that's going to benefit anybody else. If it don't benefit me, I don't want to do it. We have to get out of the box about me, myself, and I. Come on now, preach. Who sung that? Beyonce? We got to get out of that behavior. It's me and mine, and I don't care about nobody else. It's all about my family, all about my children, all about my child. It's all about my... No. We got to get in this thing together and understand if you're hurting, I'm hurting. If you're crying, I'm crying. If you're weeping, I'm weeping. If you're running, I'm running. But we got to be going in the same direction. Yes. Verse 9 says, who knows? Maybe God will turn around and change His mind about us and quit being angry and let us live. That's what the people thought. They said, well, since we got on this, since we're fasting and praying, maybe God will change His mind and not kill us. They had 40 days. They were working on 40 days. They said, we're willing to be uncomfortable. But we're not sure, Melvin, if God going to change His mind. He still may kill us. He still may close the doors of the church, but For the next 40 days, we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna do what we know we should do. We're gonna sacrifice some stuff. And the interesting thing about this fast in particular, and being uncomfortable, the people once again did not really know if God was gonna change his mind. You ever try to work for something and it still didn't pay off? You ever try, Mike, you ever try to come home with flowers and some candy and some rose petals? Lord, she's shaking her head no. But Lord, Mike, y'all gonna get her some flowers and some candy and stuff. You ever just came home and try to make it right after an argument, and she looked at you and said, it ain't enough? Oh my God. He said, yeah, I see that one. You ever came to the church and tried to do your best and pastor said ain't enough? You know, nobody's exempt from the preaching. Everybody gets some of this. You ever tried your best to make ends meet and it still was not enough? But you didn't stop working. You didn't stop loving. I didn't stop preaching. And that's what the people said. They said, it might not work, but we'll try it. It might not work, but we'll try it. She might not forgive me, but I'll try it. My marriage may not come back together, but I'll try it. My kids may not love me no more, but I'll reach out and try it. Come on now. My pastor may not understand, but I'll try it. The people may not understand, but I'll try it. What are you willing to try? What are you willing to try? Not knowing if it's going to work or not. Cars go through a funny thing from summer to winter. Cars run all summer long, and one winter morning when it's the coldest, you go out there and crank it up, it won't crank. Some of us spiritually are doing the same thing. When we switch from season to season, sometimes we just don't crank. Sometimes we just don't feel like church. Sometimes we don't want to talk to nobody. Sometimes we just want to be by ourselves. But somebody got to know today, you got to try something new. Yes. Stop running. Stop dodging. And say, God, whatever it is you want from me, I'll do it. Because he's still giving us time. They didn't know if they would be spared to see a 41st day, a 42nd, 43rd, but they said, you know what, Jonah said we got 40 days, so we got to do what we can. And if God don't change his mind, he don't change it, but if he does, we know why he changed it. He changed it because we fasted. He changed it because we prayed. He changed it because we was willing to be uncomfortable for him. It's amazing what we'll do when we're desperate. It's amazing what we'll do. I remember, Mike, I had messed up. I messed up a couple years back. I messed up bad. I went to the flower shop, and I told the man, I said, hey, man, I need something. I said, I need something. He said, are you in the doghouse? I said, no, brother, I'm under the doghouse. I said, I'm under the doghouse, Melvin. I'm under. Sean, I was under the doghouse. Yep. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, brother, I need help. I felt like the Beatles. I need somebody help. Not just anybody help. I need, and he said, he walked me around the store. You know, I'm on a budget, so I was trying to count the change. But, he said, I'm gonna show you what I can give you. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but I said, I'll try it. I'm on a budget, but I'll try it. It may not make it better, but I'll try it. But ask yourself, what's the harm of trying what you've never tried? What's the harm of trying? So I got the things I needed. And I was desperate. I was desperate, Mike. I said, whatever it takes, I'll do it. You know how we do. Sometimes, I start sweating and we shaking and we nervous. And we trembling, waiting. That was Betty right. That was Betty right. My bad. That was Betty. That was Betty right. That was Betty. But we're desperate to get the response that we need to validate where we are.